image should match music. You know, if you got an artist to where their image matches the music, it's much easier to sell than if you have an artist, say, with the guns, but he's singing country. Your image is your brand. So I want artists, like I told one of my artists, you know, I'm not going to go into names, but he wanted to do some gangster hood. And I said, that's not you. I said, you're a lyricist. You know, you got words, you got bars. You don't want to be that other guy. You know what I'm saying? Image is very important.
I'm unstoppable like rolling, cracking out the modes. Never mind the road, I go whichever I'ma go. Nothing stop me though, rain, sleet, summer, snow.
What's up, y'all? Harco's here with the Music Making Sense podcast, and with me as always is the one, the only KP, the camo hat man, here today with us. And we're here with Music Making Sense podcast, where we talk to you about music marketing, branding, and how to have success as an independent artist. And we have a special guest here as well. Those of y'all who've been following, you know that we've been doing some artist interviews here lately, and they have been either directly from or in association with Big Buff Records. And we actually have with us today the CEO and the future, what's that called whenever you take over? Anyway, the future CEO of fucking Big Buff Records. No, what's it called? What's the next generation?
It's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you in 5 minutes. You know how that works.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna hit me in 5 minutes. Anyway, we got Poe the Passion up in this motherfucker here, CEO of Big Buff Records. Yeah, absolutely. The heir to Big Buff Records. The heir to Big Buff Records. We got Darwin.
First off, I got to show appreciation.
Yeah, we got Darwin Jr.
Thank you for having me. You know what I'm saying? I'm Poe the Passion. You know, Canton, Ohio. That's where we at. CEO Big Buff Records, Canton Division. You know, we got an Akron Division too. Shout out to JJ. You know, I'll get into shout outs later on, but I want to hear what y'all got to say. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But yeah, we've had a good time chopping it up with Royalty and then Seth and then Hundo about different topics. I mean, we talked to every one of them about some different, and you know, getting the unique position on where they all are. And you know, some of them were starting out, and some of them, like Hundo, he's been in a few years and stuff like that. But Royalty and Seth, they're still pretty fresh. And I know Royalty, she's in process of moving down to Atlanta, which, as we talked to her about on her episode, she was having a really hard time like getting decent booking in Ohio area at all, just like the whole state for R&B. And it was really, really grimy like situations that she was dealing with. But she's working on moving down to Atlanta, and that's going to be so much better for her because, I mean, being in that space of R&B, it's going to go a lot better for her, and there's a lot more opportunity down there, considering that she does want to do the live performances a lot more. You know, because when I was talking to her, I'm like fuck where you're at. You're on the internet. Like, go, you do whatever. But she really wanted that live, and so I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, if that's what you want to be more of a live performer. Yeah, Ohio is probably not going to be the best bet. Like, you know, like we were saying before the podcast, like maybe Motown, but Atlanta's going to be way better. You know, like it's just for the live situation, you know. I mean, you don't have to worry about winter, you know. I mean, it gets a little chilly, but nothing crazy down there, you know. So you can pretty much do year round, and I think she's gonna have a lot better situation. And then Seth,
I kind of find it weird though with when it comes to with Ohio and Detroit that, you know, you can't, especially Ohio, that it's like hard to get gigs when there's a lot of, especially as an R&B artist, like, because there's a lot of black, you know, that's a pretty strong black area, you know, where black folks,
especially some of the bigger cities and stuff.
Bigger cities,
Yeah, you get in the country, a different story, but in, you know, Cleveland and you know all the different areas, you know, Dayton, shit like that. They're high population
areas,
high population areas. Yeah, but I mean, you know, Midwest is a little weird sometimes, so it is with that. You know,
Detroit,
when it comes to live performances and shit. But and then Seth, I mean, he's been starting to I've been smiling in the background because he's been really working on his videos a lot and really upping his content game on there. And that's something that I was telling him about, like whenever he dropped that Dizzy Drizzy track a few weeks back or whatever, he like posted Well, he posted this before that happened, KP. He just posted like an image, and it's like, oh, I just dropped a new track. I'm like, you got a video for it? He's like, oh no, should I? I'm like, fuck yeah, you should. What the fuck you like? And so he's like, oh, okay. And then a few days later, he's like, hey, what do you think about this? And posted a fucking video. I'm like, oh shit, okay, yeah, there you go. That's much better.
That's really raw. Shout out. I want to begin with Royalty. You brought her up. Shout out, nothing but love for her. She just reached out one day like, I want to make music. Next thing I know, the clubs is calling me like, hey, can we book Royalty for that day? You know what I'm saying? So the Atlanta thing, that's great because she'll be around more resources. And the sad part about it is Ohio does have a strong music movement, but it's no cohesion. Everybody got separate sectors. Nobody wants to see anybody else be more successful than them,
And that's what I was saying about the Midwest is kind of interesting about music. And that's exactly what I was saying, because we deal with that here in Indianapolis. Well, I'm not in Indianapolis, but I'm like an hour away from Indianapolis. But Indianapolis is the same thing. Like, I was just talking yesterday with a Chicago artist that I work with for marketing and shit. And he hit me up yesterday. He's like, hey, man, can you make me an EPK right quick? And I was like, yeah, you don't already have one? He's like, no. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I can get you one. He's like, I need it by midnight because I got to apply for this festival. In Indianapolis. I was like, oh, Shreese? Well, I knocked it out. Give me a second. Yeah. I was able to knock one out. Okay, just give me like an hour and a half. I got you. But so I got one knocked out, no time flat for this guy. But yeah, it's gonna be better the second generation. But the first generation one was all right. Enough for him to, but he was talking about going to Shreese. And Shreese is a big festival down in Indianapolis, big music festival. It's like, I would say it's second in popularity to the Black Expo, right? Just in Indianapolis. Like, it's a big fucking festival down there for music. And I'm like, well, hopefully you get it, man, but just, because the indie circuit, it's grimy as shit. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yo, if you're not in, then you're out. Like, that's how it goes, and I think that's what you were saying in Ohio as well, too. That's what I was hearing off of your, hundo and shit like that, too, is, like, if you're not cool with the people moving and shaking, fuck, you're on the curb.
It ain't even so much cool if you're not a benefit to them. You know what I mean? If
well, there's, I mean, yeah, but you gotta have mutual benefit. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, business is all about mutual benefits. But yeah, no, it's just like if you beef. You get any kind of beef with the wrong person, now you're out because they were in. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I had a situation like that a few years back where me and an artist in Indianapolis, we came together with the host of a podcast in Indianapolis, and we're like, hey, let's do some WWE style, fake beef stuff or whatever to garner attention for the show and hype up for like this competition that, this guy like to have competitions and stuff like that, like kind of like Final Four type of thing on like who had the best, who could win like a battle or whatever. And so me and him started having beef. I'm a conscious artist. He's a trap artist. Like, there's no way we're in the same league. It's apples and fucking bananas type of shit. It's not even oranges. And so like, I was like, oh, let's have this fake beef or whatever. We'll just keep our families out of it and shit like that. It's between me and you, blah, blah, blah. Anything goes type of thing. Okay, cool, whatever. We were going back and forth, no problem, for a few weeks. Things were going cool and everything until I posted a picture of Tyrone Biggums and a picture of him with an orange beanie right next to each other. Then it threw everything out the fucking window. Now, he looked just like him with the orange beanie on, so that in my defense. But that threw it all out the window. Now Harco's, oh, you better not come down to fucking 10th Street in Indianapolis. I'm like, motherfucker, I'll go to 10th Street if I want to. Fuck you. You ain't no 10th Street goon. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit went crazy. I even had, like, one of my people who's from Chicago, was like, he, like, hopped in on the shit without me asking. And he was like, yo, you better shut the fuck up, reckless talking like this with Harco's, because I got people in Indy right now. I don't even need to come out of Chicago. And I'm just like, oh shit, this is getting crazy over some dumb shit, just because he got his feelings hurt because I fucking trolled him harder. I mean, you can't fuck with me on trolling.
A lot of people want to compete, but they don't want to lose. Mm-hmm. And you hit back too hard. You hit it back a little bit too hard.
Yeah, now exactly, dude. Because I got him hard.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I just wanted to hop in here really quick and let you know about my company.
I know a lot of times we're sitting here talking to you about all the different companies that rock with us here at Music Making Sense Podcast, but I just figured I'd hop in here really quick and let you know about my company and the services that I offer. Now, my company is called Apex Music System, and you can find that over at apexmusicsystem.com. You can find a full list of all the services that I offer over there in my company. If you're a podcaster or you have an online business or you're an artist, I can help you out with anything. All right. I got services such as website building, email marketing, video editing, social media management, ad management, creative content, strategy, consultations, and I can help you out no matter what your budget is. Now that's key right there. I got great prices. Plus I have a wide variety of low, medium, and high tier services. So I can help you out no matter what your need is. So make sure you go check out my company over at apexmusicsystem.com. And, like I tell you every time, make sure you let them know that I told you about my company right here on Music Making Sense Podcast. So I know that this ad's actually working. All right. I'm going to shut up so you can get back to the show. Yeah. Well, you know how it goes. You guys know how I know how it goes too. Yeah. Cause like as soon as I posted that, oh, you're a racist. Oh, I'm a racist. You've been in a room with me 3 times. And I'm I go down to the shittiest area of Indianapolis to film a podcast in person with the co-host, and you came along with your brother as well too. And somehow I'm the evil one. I'm by myself, an hour away from my house.
Him. He's trying to strengthen himself and turn more people against you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
If I paint you really, really bad, maybe these people will flip and roll with me. And that ain't real. That ain't
exactly
real. Roses, we fight our battle.
Well, and see, the thing is, I was an hour away from my house, all by myself, outnumbered. Like, he brought his brother and shit, too. And I'm like, okay, cool, what's up? I don't care. Like, what are you going to do? Yeah. Because I knew he wasn't going to do shit. You just fucking, he's got all kinds of butt hurt.
He looked like Clayton Bigsby, Tyrone Bigsby.
No, not Clayton Bigsby, Tyrone Biggums.
Tyrone Biggums, that's right.
different Dave Chappelle character.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he wasn't Clayton's Bigsby. No.
He tried though. KP tried. He tried. He knew it was. He just knew it was a weird name.
I think he was trying to say I was Clayton Bigsby, man. Come on now.
He trying to be. Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, dude, that's a great skit. It's so hilarious. Yeah. And then at the end, where he divorced his wife for marrying a black dude, and it was him.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out Dave Chappelle,
that's the
man.
funniest
He's one of my favorite comedians. He's
Dave Chappelle, dude, he was fucking him up back then with the Chappelle
I think he
show.
Get a lot of hate too, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because you make fun of the wrong person, now you're the worst. It's like you were laughing at me for how long, and now all of a sudden you don't like it.
Well, but at the same time, I mean, in defense, it's like you gotta understand, like, we can laugh at, and here's what I'm saying, and I think, and it's funny, like, we got to look at it from this perspective, guys. The reason why we can laugh at the Clayton Bigsby part is because it does lessen a blow that we truly feel the impact of when it actually happens from white people. That's why. And then, but the thing is too, when you look at transgender people, and I want people to understand this, especially heterosexual folks, okay? Because
he's just getting started, man.
Well, because here's the thing. What ends up happening is we start learning from our own oppressors. And it trickles down and it intersects, because when you think about transgender black women being murdered in our very own communities, right? And because Dave Chappelle having the platform that he does, and being where he's from and knowing his background, for him to attack or to try to make jokes about transgender people or anybody who is another marginalized group, right? Especially in the context that he used it in.
Are you talking about the one where he told the story about his friend that was transgender that he met at the show, or a different joke?
Right. I'm talking about that
I
one
was
as
thinking in
well. But
general.
what I'm saying is that, yeah. But
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying
All
is
right.
that
Because
what
I'm saying,
he's
like,
doing.
some
No.
people use that specific story that he told about the person who was his friend that ended up killing herself because the trans community turned against her because she supported Dave. That one was like a memorial story, and so, but
Okay.
some people use that in the wrong way. But I can get what you're saying with some of the other things he said, like some of the other jokes and shit.
See, and the problem is this: the transgender community did not make her commit suicide. No, I'm going to speak on this. That's not you. No one commit, and I'm one of those people who has definitely tried to commit suicide, and I lost my mother to it.
Sorry to hear.
Right? No one can make you, and I appreciate that, but no one can make you commit suicide.
Right.
It's a choice, and
believe
I was
that.
the one that was making that choice. So here's what I'm saying. Okay, the problem was they got upset because number one, yes, he's had a transgender friend, but he used that as an antidote, just like the white guy who makes N-word jokes and says, well, I can't be racist because I have a black friend or I got
Yeah,
a
I
black
understand.
child, right? If they're married to, right? So that it trickles down. And what we are doing as black people, especially our heterosexual black people, is what they're doing is that you're starting to learn from the oppressor by going online in this comforts of our own homes and being able to cyberbully, being able to discriminate, being able to use bigotry. And then we'll turn around also and say that racism is a feeling or a state of mind. Now, how many black people have been saying that lately? And also they've been saying that about the Confederate flag, but that's been going on for a while.
Mhm.
So what happened was that the person who ended up doing that was that they knew deep down inside they were wrong. And when the transgender community said, no, why are you going to sit there and stand up for this man for saying that? Now, I just laughed at that joke with the Clayton Bigsby because that was one of the funniest skits in the world, right? It was the
one of the
funniest
greatest.
skits in the world. But the problem
I
is
also
that-
like the one with the N-word family. That one was
Yeah.
awesome too.
I didn't see that one.
You haven't seen that? Oh, dude,
I haven't
there's a
seen that
white
one.
family, and their last name is the N-word, but it's
Yeah.
spelled differently.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle's the milkman, and he's coming around, and he just loves calling them by their name. You know what I'm saying? And it's dude, you gotta watch that skit. It's hilarious too. It's not
I
as
think
good
I've
as
seen
Clayton
skits- I've
Bigsby,
seen-
but it's up
Yeah.
there.
It's up there. But so but with
Yep.
that being said, with the number of black transgender women being murdered in our communities by who else is it by? Right? Like and people and if I say that, brothers are gonna be like, oh, this nigga, you know, he ain't black first. He ain't black first. But it's like, dude, they're black. They are black and they're dying in our streets. They're being murdered in our streets. And when we go online and we got Dave Chappelle, who has a huge platform that he does, and he's using the antidote of his friend, it's a slap in the face. And when they confronted her about that, right, she knew that deep down inside she was wrong. Because she turned the back on the very community. That's just like Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas basically has turned his back on the very thing that got him into a Supreme Court chair.
Mm.
So that's why when Dave Chappelle does that, okay, yeah, and his past jokes were funny, but this one right here,
Too close to home.
when he talks about that, he crossed the line.
Mm.
Purely because he knows what it's like to be marginalized. He's also used his wealth against poor white people.
And see,
Right?
the
Like
thing is,
saying
too,
that I just want to say, by him saying that he does not want them living over there because he has the money. Okay. And also he grew up with a very prominent black family. They were well-to-do. His parents are mad intelligent, and they were making. They grew up in the middle
teacher
class.
or something, I think.
Yeah. So for him to be like that, it's how dare you? And I'm
Yeah,
saying,
I mean,
you know what I'm
everybody
saying?
makes their personal choices, and some people make mistakes. One thing I do know about
That's not a
comedians,
mistake, though. You can't make. That's not a mistake. That's
okay,
not a mistake.
so he did something that was not great, and it's not a mistake. You can't come back from it at all, even if
Look how he came back
he
from
doubled
it,
down.
though.
Yeah, I get it, but see, the thing is with comedians, it's not an excuse, but you might see it as one. But with comedians, they are always trying to find the line to cross with everything, and sometimes they cross too far with things, and then if they don't see the thing is though too is it's kind of a double-edged sword with doubling down is not great, but then also sometimes backtracking cannot be great too. It just depends on the situation, because you backtrack once, now the mob's on your ass pushing you backwards more. You're falling in reverse like your favorite band. You know what I'm saying? And so
That's not my favorite band.
I know we were talking about falling in reverse before the fucking podcast, but it is all about, you got to be careful when it comes to how you portray your band. Okay, but but it's for real, man. You got to be careful about how you portray yourself. I got out of my element whenever I started in that fake beef with what's his name, right? Mr. fucking Couple Cents. I'm gonna call him that because his name has something to do with making a lot of money, so I call him Mr. Couple Cents. And but I got way out of my element. I'm a conscious MC. I'm not a fucking battle rapper or nothing like that. I'm not no beef artist and shit like that. I sure as hell ain't no fucking trap artist. And so I got out of my element with that. So as an artist, whenever you're focusing on your brand, you got to make sure that when you're doing stuff in the realm of the public view, especially, that you do stuff that's on brand with you. And if you're portraying something that's not you, then you need to fix your portrayal as well too. Because then if you do anything, I'm not just talking about Dave Chappelle, when you do anything outside of it, out of what people think you are, then they don't know what to believe. And like I said, I'm not talking about just Dave Chappelle. I'm talking about in general. I mean,
but also you made a statement. But you made a statement about something though, Hark.
Okay.
You said you're a troll.
No, yeah, that's true. I do like trolling.
So
that
here's
is
what I'm
true.
saying. So okay,
But it's not really in my music.
Right. But what I'm saying though is that okay.
And it wasn't my brand.
You don't have to, but you don't have to necessarily. But here's the thing. You don't have to. You don't have to necessarily make that a part of your music if it's something that you do, right? If it's something like being able to troll like that. I mean, that's another gift in itself,
right?
Like you could use that to like, you know what I'm saying? You can use that to like make to garnish attention to your music, even though you're not a beef artist, even though you're not, but you do have a very sarcastically swift tongue.
Right. Yeah. No, I do.
Right.
And
so
and
at the same time, because of that wig, you can use that.
Yeah. But the thing is too that I realized during that is that the attention that I was getting was counterproductive.
Right. And
yeah,
I wanted to say something.
I don't know, Poe. You've been there before.
Yeah,
go for it.
That's something that we got to be prepared for when you start reaching our level of success. There's people aiming. They're aiming for your downfall. And like you said, that's why it's very important to protect your brand. You got to realize there's eyes always watching. Somebody's sitting, waiting to catch you at that moment so they can go take a story and make you be the bad guy. All
right, y'all, let me take a quick break right here to tell you about something that's completely fucking ridiculous, okay? It's called HorribleDesigns.com. And I personally know the owner, and he's just as ridiculous as this whole fucking company is, okay? If you or someone you know loves stickers and mugs and shirts with crazy, outlandish sayings on them that just are designed to catch people's attention out in public and get them to laugh and point and ask you, hey, where'd you get that t-shirt or where'd you get that sticker when they see it on your car and stuff like that, y'all got to go check out HorribleDesigns.com. At HorribleDesigns.com, they have all kinds of ridiculous sayings on stickers and coffee mugs, t-shirts, vinyl stickers, magnets, and even mouse pads, okay? And I'm telling you, if you guys have not checked out HorribleDesigns.com, you got to go check it out because some things are straight up great, like the American Muscle mouse pad. It's got some awesome pictures of great muscle cars if you're into cars, or you know somebody who's into muscle cars and they need some great mouse pad to have while they're on the computer working. But then they also have dumbass fucking t-shirts that say things like, "Are you staring at my ass?" with a picture of a donkey on it, or stickers that say, "Are you staring at my beaver?" with a picture of a beaver on it. Stuff like that, man. Completely ridiculous shirts and stickers, coffee mugs, everything like that. Anything that you could ever think about having just to get people's attention, make a statement out in public, and just completely be ridiculous, and to do it with some horrible designs at the exact same time. And like I said, I know the owner, so he hooked us up with a great deal where you can save right now by using the link below in the description. Whenever you go there and shop, you will not only support Music Making Sense podcast, but you also get a great deal on any and everything that you decide to purchase every time that you use that link right there in the description below. So make sure you go check that out right now, horribledesigns.com. Use the link below in order to get good savings. Go check it out. Buy some ridiculous shit for yourself or someone you know. All right, now let's get back to the show.
Especially on the internet.
I mean,
Yep,
I definitely
absolutely.
feel what you were saying. And to touch earlier, KP, what you were saying, definitely, I think I'm not going to go into the color situation of it, but I feel like a lot of people were upset because Dave Chappelle was saying things that they felt he shouldn't have been able to say. And that ties into what you were saying about his platform, because he had the money. He had the platform to be able to make a joke out of something that a lot of people felt shouldn't even been brought to the table. A lot of people would like to sweep it under the rug. So with that, KP, I definitely understand what you were saying. So y'all both had excellent points. I just wanted to chime in because I'm trying to remember what y'all
What's
saying.
your point?
So I've been needing to chime in
Right.
just to let y'all know I'm with you and I understand. So
Right. Well, what do you think about brand in total? Like, what kind of things have you been through in your music career, or because I mean, you know, we haven't really got to it. You know, at Big Buff Records, since you're the CEO, you deal a lot with artist development. And so when you're trying to help these people from the ground up, or even like with Hundo, who's been in it for a little while and stuff, you know, you guys have been rocking together for a while. You've been coaching them along the way type of thing. What kind of stuff do you say about, hey, look, I wouldn't take that turn if I were you because it might go too far left?
Well, what I do actually,
Stuff like that.
first thing I do is, do you know about ASCAP? Do you know about BMI? I can't
Yeah.
even deal with artists. If you're not registered there, to me, you're not a real artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you at least
But
have
see,
one. Yeah.
I won't put you down. I'm that person that will show you, hey, let's go to this website. This is what you need to do. And that's the first step. Anybody that's just beginning and deals with me, that's the first assignment I give them. I need you to sign up with ASCAP or BMI. Then once you do that, come back and talk to me. And then we can talk about putting your music out and your goals. But to me, that's the first step. So
It has to be. I mean, it has to be, because if not, like we talked about in last episode, KP, your shit goes into that fucking black box. You know, if you don't have it
Their
registered
money,
yet,
yep,
you may
your
get
money
some.
the money that's supposed to go to you goes in that black box, and it goes to Beyonce and those other
everybody
artists.
else.
Right. Yeah.
Taylor
exactly.
Swift.
But the
Yeah.
thing how it goes with doing artist development, you wouldn't believe how many artists, they skip the whole development. You know what I'm saying? On Monday they're
Oh, no, I
artists, and
believe
by
it.
Friday they want to be a millionaire. And they skip the whole
Mm-hmm.
touring,
Process.
hungry.
They skip the process. Yeah.
So
Yep. And see, that's me and KP have dealt with that a lot with our marketing. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of do artist development, but on a different level and stuff like that too. We're talking about marketing and stuff, and you know, we both have had situations where we've had people that start working with us on, like, you know, growth campaigns, and after like a month or two, they're like, "Yo, I'm just not seeing the growth I want." I'm like, we just got started, bro. Like, I told you this is gonna be a while, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is having that patience, because people just get frustrated very, very easy, you know. And I get it, especially when you're in like a tight financial situation. You don't have much to invest, so you want to try to recoup that investment as fast as possible. I'm 100% right there, you know. But it takes time, you know. Just like, for instance, you know, I started venturing into this realm in 2017 whenever I started my podcast. That was a radio show style podcast called Hip Hop Hour, and I was showcasing people's music and stuff like that. I had that for like 4 years. Ended up shutting it down because of personal issues and stuff like that. And I had to regroup my head. I was losing my shit a little bit. Got my shit back on track. But then that whole time, I was like, for like 2 years after that, I was just learning more than what I knew before. Because I knew as I was trying to go, and I was trying to grow the podcast, I was trying to grow my personal music. I was looking around and like, like I realized I can't promote some of these artists properly because they're not on any of the streaming platforms. Like, where am I going to say, like, they don't have brand solidarity with their social media accounts. Like, how am I going to say, oh yeah, go follow so-and-so at this name on this place, but a different name on this place and a different name on, like, what the fuck? I started noticing all that shit like 2017, 2018. And so then I started putting like everything I was learning off of other people's mistakes is I was trying to do it on myself, and I was trying to learn and everything too. And so after all these years, I've ended up transitioning to mainly focusing on helping other artists, not just with this podcast, giving out all kinds of free game, but also through one-on-one working with different artists and other labels and stuff like that, to where I realize I like helping people get their shit straight much better than I do just making my own music and trying to fucking, just praise myself all goddamn day.
And I feel that so completely because that's why I started my label. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, Seth. I'm sorry, Paul. I'm so sorry, man, but
Seth was a few episodes ago, man.
Yeah, I know, but Seth, he's just kind of stuck in my head Seth, for a little bit, like there, because just for some, shout out Seth. But the one thing I wanted to ask you, like even with artists like with Seth and Royalty and Hondo, like what do you find the most? Two questions. What do you find like the most difficult when it comes to dealing with artists? And I know that's one that you said, but what do you find most beneficial about working with artists in the artist development?
Well, as far as what's most difficult, you want that first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Difficult because each artist, you never know what you're dealing with, and a lot of artists, you wouldn't believe how much personal issues an artist can bring to you. So you got to think you got 13 artists on your label. Those 13 people that could have problems, could have situations. You got to deal with that.
They all got different lives, different lifestyles.
Yeah, and you gotta get everything. You got to keep everything on track. You know what I'm saying? And then the second question was what? Repeat that second question again.
Positives.
The benefits, what are the benefits of you being an artist
they're infinite, artist? Truthfully, I love good music, so just being able to have a hand in hip hop and not even just hip hop music, period. From rock to whatever. I love good music, so being able to take artists and get them to the point to where they're self-functioning, they're getting royalties, they got a chance to, hey, if they wanted to, they can push farther and get a deal if that's where they want to go. But I make sure they look good on paper, so when they do try, they at least have some leverage.
And they don't end up getting screwed over by somebody swooping in, stealing their whole idea, and then running off with it and leaving them with nothing, and then maybe hitting them with a cease and desist because they never had any of their paperwork properly.
Exactly.
So stop using that name. That's my name. It's like, bitch, I started this name before. No, you didn't have it. You didn't have it registered. Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing. I saw a post on my Facebook the other day. I don't know, maybe Poe, you might have saw this, but I shared it. It was somebody was talking about instrumentals, and they were talking about how, excuse me, how with instrumentals, they said artists stop getting leases on your beats off of these producers because in a lot of these lease agreements, the producer can sell the exclusive to that beat after they sell you the lease, and then now you're in copyright infringement even though you had the lease before, right? You had an agreement to be able to have full use, right? But then they sell that as an exclusive. It null and voids in some contracts, not all. It null and voids every lease that's ever been out there on it. And I'm like, yo, that's fucked up. And they're even like, oh, and then if the producer uses loops, well, now that goes in the copy. And obviously, we knew about samples from Kanye way back in the day, right? But like, it even just loops of just like certain sounds and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You use like an actual registered Timbo fucking 808, you know, that's a copyright shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to tweak that shit to make it 100% yours. And like, I was sitting there, I was like, you know, what are y'all's thoughts and stuff like that? And a couple of my producer people, one of them is my own personal producers. He was like, yeah, man, dude, like, he's like, that's why I make everything 100% from scratch. And I only deal with exclusives. I don't deal with leases, just because I want to be able to sell it one time to one person. It's 100% unique, and they ain't got to worry about things ever again.
I got a great story.
You know.
I got a great story. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
go for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yes,
ties in
please.
what you was talking about earlier about the confrontation.
We talk every episode, so you go for it, man.
You know what you were saying earlier about people getting you out to your zone and getting you to where you acting, it's counterproductive. But I just had I sent one of my brand new artists, fresh. I sent him to a beat maker. Beat maker tried to hit him with like something corny, like a 5,000 stream cap. So he can only get 5,000 streams.
5,000 streams across all platforms.
Then he would have to pay again. It was crazy, and I was upset. You know, I apologize. I went back and smoothed it off because I was upset. Why would you do that to an artist that you know is just starting, that doesn't have the resources yet? So you basically limiting what he's doing. So yeah, I just wanted to speak on that because it ties in. I got out my character. I had to get a little rough, a little deep with the voice. Like, what's going on? This one of my artists now.
Well, you should have. You should have, though, because like that producer essentially did that shit my uncle used to do. Probably all of our uncles used to do that shit too. Shit uncles do. They put their hand on your forehead and extend their arm and say, all right, come on and run. Try to swing and hit me. And they can't because you're half your size. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. KP, you never had your uncle do that? Yeah, exactly. That's basically what that producer did. He put his hand on that artist's head and said, all right, go ahead and try to swing and hit me. And you can't.
Come on, kitty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, stop, right?
Exactly. And it's just like, yo, that's fucked up right there. Just capping them at 5,000. It's like, okay, so for one, you don't think I can get more than 5,000, and if so, you want more money. It's like, I just gave you money. Like, I can go on YouTube tomorrow and get 45 leases for like $20 a piece or whatever, you know, from different producers and shit like that, all over the place, easy and unlimited. So you tell me why I gotta deal with the 5. But see, that new artist that doesn't, they don't know that shit. They're like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. They don't know. They don't know.
I've done 5K in a day. So I mean,
you can, if you do it right,
market promotion, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance that song may go viral. You know, maybe 1K in a whole year,
right?
Or it may get 5K in a day or more. You know what I'm saying? And then what? And then I guarantee that fee that the artist paid for that first $5,000 was more than what they would make off of that 5,000 in royalties.
Yeah,
because 5,000 at 0.004 cents per stream. What's up, little boy? That's mini Po the Passion right there.
All right. I just wanted to come in here and let every single one of y'all who love raw, real underground hip hop know about a dope show I found over on YouTube. And they're exclusively on YouTube as well, too. All right. It's called Hip Hop Radar Underground. Make sure you go check them out. They got live Friday shows every single Friday, showcasing artists from all across the world, underground, raw, real hip hop. And if you're an artist, you can actually go and submit your music there too and get it popping on that show. It's a great place to go and network with everybody as well too. Everybody that watches that show and tunes in live are raw, real hip hop fans. All right. So it's a great place to find some real lovers of your music. And like I said, if you love listening to dope new music, make sure you go check them out. They also offer artist spotlight interviews as well too. So if you're an artist, you want a spotlight, go ahead and hit them up over there. Me and KP were just previously on there and we had a dope interview, sat down with the host himself, Sack Juggalo, and had a great conversation. It was a great opportunity. So I just wanted to cut this message right here for every single one of y'all who love raw, real hip hop, or you're an artist. Make sure you go check out Hip Hop Radar Underground over on YouTube. You can also follow them over on IG. Make sure you go check them out. All right, let's get back to the show.
But like that 5,000, you know, times 0.0034 cents per stream. I mean, shit, dude, that's nowhere near $20. I don't even have to do the math.
It's so bad. I don't even look at my royalties. I just let them stack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's that. But I mean, it goes beyond royalties as well too. See, that's one area it's like beating my head against a brick wall a lot of times, but I do it because I think it's the best way to get through the wall is use your head and think about it logically. Like this metaphor I'm drawing, you think about it logically and you're like, look, streams are only as good as they are during that moment. A fucking email on an email list is good until they hit subscribe or they stop opening. You know what I'm saying? Which is a lot longer lifespan. You can build more with those people that are rocking with your music on an email list than you ever could on streaming. Because like I keep telling these artists, I'm like, look, okay, cool. You got 30,000 streams on your first week because you got on a couple playlists or whatever, right? You got 30,000 streams in your first week. Okay, cool. Put out another song without getting on that same playlist again and see if you get 30,000 streams again. Oh, you won't. Why? Because even if you get 1,000 follows off of it, there is no guarantee that they will see the notification when you drop your next track in 2 to 4 weeks, right? But if they're on your email list,
you get it directly.
For one, you can tell them about it. You can do warm-ups beforehand about it, and you can do afterwards as well too. So you can have the opportunity to hit them at least 3 times about this new song that you just put out. Whereas on the streaming platforms, you only get one shot. And if you happen to release your song on a day when 3 of their more favorite artists on their list of people they listen to a lot in their algorithm, in their recommendation engine, then you're blown out the water because those are going to have higher priorities because they listen to them more than they listen to you. Because that's how the recommendation engine on all these streaming platforms works. Is it goes based off of what you listen to the most. It's going to keep trying to feed you more of that because they want you to keep listening, keep having those ads run through and shit like that. You know, if you hit skip and stuff, it's not the right shit. They want you to enjoy your time.
And you're just making me think. That's how it used to be, where you sent out the email list to companies that you were interested in. You send out your demo. And when streaming came,
but now you can do it direct to consumer. And that's the better way to do it. I mean, you can do it to the bigger platforms as well too. I recommend that artists have two different email lists, right? You got one of promotional opportunities and you got one of your fans.
Say that again for them.
And you talk to them differently.
Say that again for them. Artists should have 2.
Yeah, well exactly. Have 2 different lists. Okay, I thought you were I got you now. No, you have 2 different lists. You got one for promotional opportunities for DJs, radios, podcasts, stuff like that, where you're saying, hey, I just put this out. I appreciate if you go and play it, right? You talk to them totally different than you talk to your fan, because your fan, like KP, you showed me this this video earlier today where this guy, what's the dude's name? Something the producer.
I forgot his name.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds here. KP sent me this. Well, now it's not going to tell me. Here, I'm going to play it.
That you don't build community, you facilitate it. That is, you understand how you see the world, then you do the work to find people who see the world the way you do, and then you preach the gospel to them. Boom. So I used to run digital strategy for this woman named Beyonce. She sings a few songs. So I had my team kind of scour the internet. And we found in the recesses of the internet this small little group of people who called themselves the Beehive. And we adopted the Beehive as her official fan club. And this is what I learned, that you don't build community, you facilitate it. That is, you understand how you see the world, then you do the work to find people who see the world.
All right, he's kind of repeating himself because they put the punch at the beginning and then they loop, because it's good video editing. It's Keys the producer, but like that's what you do with your email list as well too. You just facilitate them wanting to do that stuff. You just keep feeding them until they're basically begging for you to give them something. Hey, give me a reason to give you money, man. Like you have them itching. They're like itching. They're like, yes, please give me something. You know what I'm saying? You make them. That's how you get your cult-like following in your fan base. And like what he said, where you don't try to find your fan base or your group, your community, you facilitate it. So you have the option available and you just start speaking with them all the time. And then they will naturally grow off of there. You just you just talk to them. You be you. You make them feel like they're
Right,
part of
yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I see a lot of artists. I tell them, I say, yo, stop trying to be used car salesman with your music. Actually build a fan base. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them be like, stream now, buy now, go support. You know, why don't you support local art? You know what I'm saying? They do all these tactics. I'm like, y'all need to go sell cars. You know, because you're trying to sell music with the same way you're trying to either you sell cars or even, you know, other things on the street, and it doesn't work
Yeah, 'cause
like that.
my
Like,
inbox,
There's something
my
I want to
inbox
touch
just
on.
gets
Okay.
flooded. So I
Mhm.
definitely understand how it goes. Go ahead, Kate.
yeah.
So, but I wanted to ask you this.
Ooh, back off, KP.
Paul.
You're a little loud right there. Yeah,
I'm
there you
sorry about that. All right.
You're good.
But
You're
I
good.
wanted to ask you this question
sir.
right quick. What is it that you feel with when it comes to the visual artist identity? Like, how important does that play within you helping artists? Because when you look at how one of the things that we have to have is that image, and it doesn't matter. But if you have that image, if you have that something that people can visually see, that label that gives you that name, that stand out, what makes your brand stand out. So how important and how often are you using visual artist identity when it comes to you and your artists? And how
Well, you begin with genre. You know, image should match music. You know, if you got an artist to where their image matches the music, it's much easier to sell than if you have an artist, say, with the guns, but he's singing country. You know, get what I'm saying?
Depends on what guns you got. You might be able to rock it. You got some
depends
six
on what.
shooters. You got
I'm
six
saying,
shooters,
like,
a
if you got
12 gauge.
if you got a 12 gauge and some, and a lot of them are starting to pop pistols. So right, but go ahead.
no,
But go ahead.
I mean,
Right,
but
right.
definitely understand image is very important. That's one thing, and that ties into what Harkles was talking about earlier with your brand. Your image is your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I want artists, like I told one of my artists, you know, I'm not gonna go into names, but he wanted to do some gangster hood, and I said, that's not you. I said, you're a lyricist.
Right.
You know, you got words, you got bars. You don't want to be that other guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
Did he say why?
Why did I say why?
Why did he want to do? Well, no. Why did he want to do some gangster
what
shit?
was his point? Yeah.
Sometimes when you in certain environments, you know how you want to fit into that environment. So it's one of those situations. Everybody else was doing that,
Okay.
but you know.
And then he sees everybody else getting attention for that, so he wants to write. Yeah, I know. We've talked about it as well too. I know an artist who puts out that dumbass fucking heavily auto-tuned wavy shit. He does it all right, but he's a hell of a conscious individual. And I keep telling him, like, because like me and him hopped on a track years ago, and his fucking verse crushed mine, which is what I tell everybody to do when they hop on a track with me. I'm like, crush me here. I'll come with my shit. You double up. You know what I'm saying? Kill me. Even if it's my own track, I don't give a fuck. But, you know, like, he came with some lyrical shit, and like, he's hella conscious. And I'm like, you need to do that. Oh, but nobody fucks with that. Cause you're not doing it right. You got swagger, man. You can make people fucking rock with you. So put your shit out there and get it done, because like, you can do it. It's you know, like what we were saying right there. You stick with who you are as an individual. Like, yeah, he's got that in him as well too, right? But like, you stick with who you are as an individual, and people will come to you. You don't have to go and try to impress all these other people in order to get the attention from them. You just stay you. You be you. It's kind of what we were talking about pre-show, KP. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but you know, you be you. You stay you, and people will flock to that. And then don't worry about appeasing everybody outside. It's a natural instinct to, you know, you want to appeal to everybody. You know, you want everyone's love, but you got to try to focus and be like, look, you know, country person is not going to rock with me doing conscious hip hop, most likely, unless they like hip hop too, because they're over here doing country shit. I'm over here talking some other shit. You know what I'm saying? That dude over there is doing trap. KP's over here doing some hella crazy, really black metal shit. Okay? Like I was telling you, I think it was last episode, KP, I said, you know, if you're up there doing your experimental black metal music and you got people up there breakdancing, it's going to look really weird, right? Because you got this, you know, experimental black metal shit. But like you said, if you have people dressed up in, you know, like very dark looking shit, and they're doing, you know, they're acting like your minions and stuff, now that fits, and people are going to rock to that. And you're not trying to appeal to nobody. And that's where I think a lot of artists they fail at. They're like, man, these people are getting they're popping off. I
Yep.
want to pop off
Yep.
too. But
That's another question I wanted to talk with you about, and that's why I think Seth came into play. What is the one unique thing that made what was it that grabbed with? And I'm saying, and I'm asking that because
that's a good
he's a
question.
white hip hop artist, right? And he has a very unique style. What was it for you that gravitated towards you with him, and what made him stand out?
And that's a
for you?
wonderful question. The thing with Seth, because he's talented. Like he's talented in so many facets of music, whether it's making videos, lyrically. What did it for me is though he didn't have no support. You know, being whether he was a white guy or he didn't have the finances or who knows. You know, people find any reason not to support you. You know what I mean? But
Right.
Seth I seen him, I'm like, it's no sense of you being in the game alone when you can have a team behind you and accomplish so much more. And that was the first thing. When I first got to the level where I was dealing with industry people, they kept telling me, get you a team. Get you a team. And I didn't understand what you know, I'm thinking I'm finna be a millionaire by myself. You know, I don't need nobody. But the people that really knew
yeah,
Right.
I battle that myself.
would get you a team. But yeah, the thing with Seth, he was an underdog. But
Yeah.
but talent wise, he's not. He's not.
And he's one thing I like about him is he's got the motivation and he takes advice.
Yep.
That's one thing whenever
does.
whenever
He's
he
coachable.
yeah,
Very
whenever
coachable.
whenever I made that comment on his post, and then a few days later he tags me in a post, like at the headline, not even in the after effect, but he tags me in the motherfucker, yo, Arcos, what do you think about this? And I'm like, that's exactly what I was talking about doing. Like, fuck, about time somebody. I was telling KP, I showed him. I'm like, look, finally somebody fucking listens to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's one thing that I liked about him as well too, is that he's got that going for him. Those two.
Now,
pieces
what do
right
you
there.
think? Now, with that, what do you think that would be? What do you think would be one of the things that you can see him in time making a huge development in? If he or it, where you see him making that huge jump leap in his career, what do you think is that one part of the development that will be his key factor?
I think his strength is creativeness. Like I think when it comes to like video editing things, like it don't even have to be all about the music. Like he has enough talent to where he probably can be involved in the music business the rest of his life, even if he's not performing. You know what I'm saying? But he's very creative, you know, and that's just one thing. I really want him to focus on editing and becoming a great video maker. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I don't think I showed you this, KP, but he did a video here recently, and one of the lines in his song says something about being in front of the Dollar Tree. And during the video, he's standing in front of a Dollar Tree, and you see the sign behind him and shit like that. And then at the end of it, he drops that bar that says something about the Dollar Tree and goes like that. And then that was like kind of like the end of it. And I'm like, yeah, like you said, Poe, he's got that creative energy in him and stuff. And so he's got the ability. The more reps he gets in, the better he's going to keep getting.
One more thing about him too,
with him creating a lot of music and creating a lot of video.
He kind of, for me, he from that era where we freestyle. You know, where we'd sit in a circle and we'd pass the microphone, and that's becoming a lost art nowadays. You know, even in battle rap, nobody's really freestyling
I can't do
anymore. You know what I mean? But shout out to Seth. You know, definitely, and
absolutely.
And now, what about what is your thing? What was it with royalty? And I'm also going to get to Hundo too. So I just want to talk about all three of those artists. So now with same question that with royalty, and then Hundo.
Royalty. I got other artists. Y'all haven't met the other artists off my camp, so
no, we haven't got them yet. We're gonna get them. I figured when I was talking to you, I'm like, shit, let's get you on first before I get everybody else. Like, not save you for last. Fuck.
Right.
Royalty is nothing but love. Same situation. One day, I got a call, you know, from her husband. Shout out Derek, great comedian. Derek Williams, great comedian.
Yeah, I've heard they are.
They
both of them. Yeah,
as a couple, they vibe well. So I get a call. He just told me she was interested in making music. So first question you would ask Cap, with BMI, who you with? Okay, well, we got to start at the beginning. Since then, she has to be my most active artist, truthfully. As an R&B artist, she's always promoting. She's done shows out of state. She was my first artist that I had a club call back like, hey, can we book royalty? You know what I'm saying? And as the label, I felt
That's
good.
dope.
Like, okay. So I'm extremely proud of her. Matter of fact, she got a song. She's pretty much mastering her own songs now. So
Yeah, that's what she was telling us on the thing.
She's
Yeah.
very multi-talented.
Yeah, she's like, well, I learned how to record myself, how to master my own self because I wanted to be able to do it, and I didn't really fit in with the studio vibes and shit, so I'm gonna do it myself and like all this, and it's like I'm making my own music. I'm like, Jesus, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna build my own studio too. I'm like, what do you build everything from scratch? She's like, oh, I make my food from scratch. I'm like, okay, because we were talking about food too on that episode. She's like, oh, I make my food from scratch too, like because. What does she make? She makes like vegan lasagna or whatever that nobody, or mac and cheese or something like that. Then nobody could tell it was vegan and stuff. She made it all from scratch, like used everything and like the cashews and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, damn, you do everything from scratch.
So
lady.
I was just going to plug her in one time. Royalty, spelled the way it sounds. She just dropped a new banger for the R&B. It's called Loyalty. Y'all check it out. It's on every platform.
All right, y'all. I just want to hop in here again real quick. Yes, I know again, but you know what? We rock with a lot of people here, and a lot of people rock with us here at Music Making Sense Podcast. So I got to tell you about all these great people, all right? And this one right here, right now, is Mad K Studios, all right? Go check them out, madkstudios.com. Mad K is a dope artist, man. This guy can draw or paint almost anything, okay? He really, really specializes in, like, portrait arts for memorialization of your favorite car or a family member or a loved one or something like that. All right. Full commission artwork, no copy and paste shit or nothing like that. All right. Custom designs. If you want it, make sure you go hit up madkstudios.com for your custom art piece. And you can even go check out some of the pieces that he's done for freelance and stuff like that. And you can also get it on a shirt. He's got coffee mugs and mouse pads and all kinds of other decorative pieces of artwork that you can go and check out as well too. So if you're a connoisseur of art, you're looking for a nice piece of knickknack or something like that around the house, or if you want a custom artwork designed for a loved one or something that's cherished in your life that you want memorialized in an actual painting, a real painting, make sure you go check out madkstudios.com. Let them know Harcoast over at Music Making Sense Podcast sent you. All right, let's get back to the show.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And last but not least, our man Cody Hunt. And actually, the question of what do you think within her development? What do you think is going to be the place where she's going to shine?
She's gonna really her drive because she wants it. You know, it's a lot of people that want it, but they're not prepared to take the steps to get it. She's an artist I sat and I watched. And it was great because a lot of steps I didn't have to tell her. Like I didn't have to tell her the importance of promoting. I didn't have to tell her, the importance of marketing. I didn't have to tell her that. So I mean, she real. I wish her nothing but luck. And I think when she touched down in Atlanta, I think they're gonna have to make a little room for her. They're gonna have to make a little room. And I'm gonna be sitting here smiling.
Yeah, that's what she was saying when she did that exploratory mission down there. She was saying how it was already. She's like, "Oh, it's great. I need to hurry up and get down there." And I'm like, "All right, there you go."
And I think that element just for the fact that R&B needs it just needs a live audience, and
it does a lot better.
That's it just does better with a live audience, and that intimate touch and the intimacy of being able to have that one-on-one with that person.
Yeah, and that's what
voice.
Yeah, that's what I even told her, and I'm mostly like, yo, fuck the live, go internet, right? But with her, I was like, no, you really need to do the live. I mean, internet too, but it's
both,
a combination, like, equally, not. Mostly with a lot of hip hop artists, I tell them don't worry about the lives until they start calling you, begging you, right? Build your online profile until they start begging you, because there's a million artists that will pay to go perform. You need to build your profile to where venues are calling you saying, I will give you this much money to come, please, right? Even if it's $50, right? But once you get to that part where they're like, they're messaging you saying, I will pay you, then you go. Don't be trying to do all this free shit and then you paying for opportunity and stuff. just to just to try to help make the promoter their money back off of the main stage person that they got to come, like either the B list or the A list celebrity or whatever, C list celebrity coming through or whatever. They got to pay for them to perform. You got these openers that you just charge the openers. That's how you make your money back. If you make off the door, okay, cool. But like, but with royalty, especially with R&B, I was like, all right, you got to have more of like a 50-50, especially in the live.
So yeah, for sure. And so last but not least, definitely Cody Hondo. What was the track?
Now Cody,
with him,
he the track star. He the guy that want to blow up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But also he's been at the game longer, so he probably got that itch. We all get that itch. Like it's about time. But
it's like, yo, come on! It's been multiple years. Let's go. Like we're getting closer to a decade. I think he's like 6 or 7 years. I think something like that.
Yeah. That long. So with him, he got a catalog. His thing is kind of location. Location. You got so you got to start expanding more, and that's what I'm doing now. We trying to set up some state tours, get people out here, get the artists out more because where we at now. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love the music scene. Like Cleveland has a dope music scene. But the gatekeepers.
Well, Bone Thugs and Harmony did say Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks. Yeah. Cleveland rocks. Yeah, come on, KP. You don't tell me you don't know about that goddamn song. Half my walls Bone Thugs up in this motherfucker.
Let me see. I'm looking. So I don't know. I just want to.
Yeah, well, there's BNTH Resurrection right there.
Everybody in. So shout out Seth with a capital A. That's SEATH. All platforms.
Yo, the story behind his name is crazy though. That's hilarious. He told us that. I was like, yo, really? That's crazy. But he's rocking with it, though. He's like, hell yeah. My dad didn't know how to spell Seth, but...
See, we ain't even talked about that.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as I was asking, though, like, with Cody, like, what's this, get to the... With Cody, like, so what would you see with him and his, with his development? What do you think would be that thing that can make him shine?
Cody, he just needs to expand more. I've been talking to him as far as, getting your streams up, getting your fan base up, promoting. Actually, he'll tell you himself. I've been telling him promotion. Every time I talk to him, I'm telling him promotion because he just got a distribution deal with Sony Orchard, Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But I'm telling him, if you don't promote.
I wonder where he got that.
Nah. But if you don't promote, they're not even going to acknowledge you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been screaming at him. So my fingers is crossed. Hopefully, like I told him, I help him. Just let me know we ready to go. We a team, but you got to promote. You at that point now where, okay, you at the door. Now you got to build that leverage and give them a reason to go in and open the door for you.
When they open at the door, you can't be there with your hand out. You got to be there with a couple bags and being like, where do you want to put this? Yeah.
There's an analogy that one a former band member used one time. He said that the thing is that, a lot of us would have the doors open right there for us. It's just that we just rather just put our foot right there versus actually opening up and seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something that, we definitely do as artists. And one last thing, Poe, what is your, like, for you as a labor owner and the person who develop artist development coach? Where do you see yourself in another 5 years? Like, and I'm asking that because I think that, when you've been doing it for like you said with Cody and stuff like that, right? The longevity in this game, like, where do you see yourself?
You speaking directly on music or just on me in 5 years?
The music and the company within your company as yourself, as the brand behind the man behind the brand. Where do you see yourself?
Every day I'm giving number praise to God, but right now we're in the works. I'm building a division in North Carolina. I'm working on a division in Florida, and I'm working on a division in PA.
Nice.
But the thing is, I got a division in Akron that I'm trying to get solidified before I expand out. But the thing is,
And what's the goal of the divisions? Like, what's their
I
main
want it to be
purpose?
in a sense of almost like a fraternity, a partnership, where
Okay.
the label, we all under one roof, but now we got arms in many different locations. And
it's more for like the stage shows and the tours and
exactly,
stuff like that, and
exactly.
connecting
Yep,
with
yep.
the live.
Almost
Okay,
like a
okay.
franchise. Hey, you part of this label. Your business
Mhm.
is in, let's say, Hawaii. Maybe once a month, send back a certain amount to stay within the label. But
Right,
the main goal is let's pump and get as big as we can. So
right. Mafia ties for the mafia ties. Got it, got it. Yeah,
that's
ties.
what
at
I don't
10%,
agree
you
with
know what I'm
that,
saying?
but you're right. You're right. You see, I got kids running around here, so
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's, I mean, you pay your franchise fees. That's another
Yep.
way to say it too. But yeah, I mean, that definitely sounds like a higher level street team situation, because it's not for just one specific person. It's more for the collective, you know. And so, yeah, I think that could go pretty well, and with stuff like that as well, man. Absolutely. And then you make your own music as well too, but
Yeah.
do you focus on that as much as you do? Like, are you kind of like me, where it's like I make some songs here and there, but I mainly focus on the fucking business, or
about
what?
20,000 streams for my million streams.
Okay.
I'm an artist
For your catalog? There you go. You're about 20,000 away from your million on the whole catalog.
I'm from hitting my
There you go.
first
There you
million.
go.
As far as being an artist right now,
There you go. There you go.
appreciate that. But yeah, that's Poe the Passion. I'm on all platforms. PoeThePassion, Poe the Passion. But man, it's just, I don't know. This is a great podcast, man. I appreciate y'all having me. I need
No
a question
problem.
again though.
Yeah, no, so yeah, it's all good. So the question, I saw you lose track. So the question was, do you
Let's go play it.
do you focus?
It's all good.
It's all good. So do you focus mostly on the business and a little bit on the music, or do you like, like what would you say the percentage of focus on your music is compared to the focus on your business and growing that?
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
When I
yeah.
first started, my whole focus was on the music. I didn't have a business.
Right.
So it's not 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a business mind. Now my mind is probably 95% business.
Business,
and
yeah.
5%
Well, because it's not only your business, but it's
Yeah.
everybody else's business
Yeah.
too that you're helping out. Yeah. No, I get that. So it's like 5% on
So-
yourself. That's kind of where I'm at as well too with my shit, because I've been expanding a lot. Working with multiple different labels and multiple different artists and doing all these different
Yeah.
things and stuff, and just trying to grow and everything. And then hooking up with KP here with the podcast and everything like that we're doing. I'm just like, somebody asked me for a feature, and a month later I get them a verse back, one verse. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Well, it's because I'm not focused. And then, I hit him up with that, and he gets it out or whatever. He's like, all right, can we do some video for it? I'm like, yes, that's my mantra. I put video for every song, but fuck, dude, I don't know when I'm gonna have time to shoot some video for a verse. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because I focus most of my time and energy and stuff like that on the business shit. So I get what you're saying with that, man. It does take it away. But the way I'm seeing it is, once things start rolling on their own, once you, like, for instance, for you, once you get that branches going and stuff like that, and people have more autonomy and it's still working well, then you can take the foot off the gas. You take that 95 back down to about 75. Now you got 25% for your music. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I was thinking as well.
I couldn't have said it no better myself, truthfully.
Well, yeah, that's why I get paid the big bucks. No, I'm just kidding.
That smile, that was a genuine smile. You're right. Hardcore.
But yeah, no, 100%, man. I think that's definitely a solid goal, especially for somebody like yourself whose focus is a lot on helping other people. You see a lot of these people who have the talent and or the ambition, and they want to go for it, but there's so many different things in this industry you got to pay attention to. You got the production of the music, you got to make sure it's all registered right and there's no copyright issues, and then you got to create the content for it, and then you got to promote the content for it, and you got to be in the right area, and you got to hit the people with the right noise, and you got to, like that video said, you got to go to where people already are and then speak with them in that, introduce yourself to them instead of trying to bring them over to you, all that kind of stuff. You got all that shit, and people need somebody like yourself, which is all the Big Buff Records. They got somebody like you to help them along the way with all that, and that's definitely 100%.
That's why I say artist development. That's just my focus. I'll try to get you to Z. We start at A.
Exactly.
I'll get you to C.
One step at a time.
Yep.
It's dope.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, man.
Great
Great
show.
show, man.
Awesome. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. As you heard, okay, you cut it short. As you heard, that was the long one.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah, it's the long. All right, cool. It's all good.
It's the cheer.
But yeah, so Poe the Passion for his music on all the platforms. And then where can people, I know me and you were talking about some stuff, but where can people find Big Buff Records as a whole if they wanted to reach out to you about possibly artist development or having a franchise situation?
You can get at me directly at www.podapassion.net. But as far as Big Buff Records, the website, actually, wasn't I talking to you about that? Yeah.
Yep.
I
don't want to say it 100%, but yeah. That's why I said. That's why I said we're talking about some stuff in the background and stuff. Yes, no. Seth brought it up. Seth was like, "Yo, talk to Poe," and so I was like, "Okay, cool."
Well, that's in the works.
But yeah, we're gonna be working on that. But for the moment, I didn't know if you had another opinion.
We're on Google Business. We're official. We're licensed with the state. You know, same way you look up a plumber, you can look up our record label.
Right. But yeah, Poe the Passion is probably gonna be the easiest way. Or you Google Big Buff Records and you find like an email and stuff like that. But yeah, so podapassion.net for any and everything Poe the Passion or Big Buff Records. Make sure you hit them up. As always, make sure you hit us up here at Music Making Sense Podcast over at musicmakingsensepod.com if you want to talk to us about any music marketing stuff, anything like that. If you're an artist or a label or any kind of person within the industry and you might be wanting to get on here and chop it up with us about something specific in the music industry, make sure you let us know over there, musicmakingsensepod.com. You can send us a direct message right there on the site and we'll get back to you. Of course, like, share, follow, subscribe. And as I say every single week, make sure that if you like this episode, you like what we're doing here at Music Making Sense Podcast, that you show any of our episodes with at least one other artist that you know who either needs to hear it or would benefit highly from hearing information that we got here. If they're an artist that's sitting there like, man, I keep hearing all this conflicting shit, I don't know what's up, you just tell them, you're like, hey, look, you need to go get your mind right. Go over here listening to Hardcoast and KP on Music Making Sense Podcast. They're the only ones with the real information. Everybody else is doing it.
And guess who we are powered by, y'all?
And
Riverside FM.
Absolutely. Powered by Riverside FM. And Poe was even saying that at the beginning when we first got on here. He was like, damn, this video is clean as shit. I'm like, yeah, that's why we don't use Zoom, man. We use Riverside for our shit. It's a lot better video, a lot better audio quality, and so much better. So as we always tell you, if you use Zoom for anything, stop. Click the link right below where you're hearing this right now for Riverside. Go get yourself a free month trial and get your fucking shit on.
And you can also get the app, guys. We just got Seth. We got Poe on the app, man.
Yeah.
And
Hundo was on the app last time as well too. Yeah, it's got an app as well too. Obviously, getting on the computer's a lot better. You can have especially if you got an external mic and stuff like that. But yeah, if you use Zoom for anything, stop. Hit the link below and get yourself Riverside. It's much better. And but yeah, anything else you want to drop on here, Mr. Passion?
Let me shout out a couple more artists. Shout out to my Puerto Rican brothers, man. KP Malone and Monster Sanchez. Shout out my homie, another new artist, Bushmaster, man. I know I'm gonna forget somebody, so I shouldn't even start it. Yeah,
you're gonna forget everybody.
Any shout out to whole Big Buff, JJ. Oh man.
And everybody in between. That's how Joseph, you fill the gaps. And everybody in between. I love every single one of y'all. You're supposed to say, if I didn't mention you, it's because I love you even more. That's what you're supposed to say.
You know what I mean? But thank you for having me. Thank you for having Big Buff in the build, man. We love y'all and we appreciate it,
Absolutely.
Any last pleasure having you on here, brother.
Absolutely.
My last words, definitely pleasure having you on here, man. Enjoyed the conversation, and I just want to keep you in my heart, man, and keep doing your thing, brother, and fucking kill it, man.
Salute.
I'm seeing you big things. Hell yeah, boss.
All right. See y'all on the next episode of Music Making Sense Podcast. Y'all have a good day. Oh, you still playing the music? All right. Oh, yeah. Gotta dance it out. Dance, dance. Yeah. Yeah, do the ostrich. Yeah. Oh, POTUS hopped off too. Boom. Y'all have a good one.
We
See y'all
out,
later.
y'all.